everyone, it's Stephanie and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. This was my first N.K. Jemisin book, but it will definitely not be my last. In this book, New York City is being born, and each borough has a person to represent it. It also has an avatar, and there are also monsters or aliens from another world that don't want New York to be born. So they're making a lot of complications for these avatars, boroughs. All these boroughs have to band together in order to defeat these monsters. I know the synopsis sounds a little clipped. It's really hard to explain the actual synopsis, but I think it's because the book is so much more than the general premise, if that makes sense. The diversity in this book is phenomenal. For each borough, there's one person to represent them. So we have a gay character, characters of color, we have a non-binary secondary character. There is just so much representation in here. And I feel like it's very New York City. I've never been to New York, but just from what I hear, it's just such a melting pot. And there are so many cultures in New York, and I feel like this was such a good illustration of what it's like to live there. In this book, we get to see a lot of these characters day to day. Their voices are just getting suppressed, or the characters are being oppressed. It's just kind of unrelenting. But through all of that, we really get to know the characters. I feel like we learn a lot of their backstory and what kinds of situations they're in now, and it's a lot, but it's really good. It's such a timely book. This came out in March of this year, and with everything going on in the US right now, it's just so relevant. It just fits so well, and we're just wanting this new, diverse New York, but then there are monsters trying to keep that from happening, just to put it in the most base way possible. But it's just so relevant. It's such a wonderfully well-constructed book. I loved the writing. The way she writes is very captivating, and it just pulls you into the story. I will say, you're just kind of shoved into the world at first. So for me, it was a little off-putting at first, and it took me a little bit to get into the flow and figure out what happened. And then there are points in the book where sometimes I had to reread a small section so I could make sure I understood what happened. But it was worth it, because then you can really follow the story and what's going on. I will say, this was an excellent audiobook. I listened to it mostly on audio, and the narrator was absolutely phenomenal. The production of it was so good. There were sound effects, but not throughout the whole story. It was just at the beginnings of chapters and things like that. And then one of the characters has this really kind of evil reverberating type of laugh, and listening to it on audio was so creepy. It just sends chills down your spine, but it was just so good. And it's really eerie when you listen to audiobooks at like 1.7 speed. Sounded a little like The Exorcist, but you know. I've heard phenomenal things about Jemison, and I'm really glad I read this when I did. But this is going to be a trilogy, and I am so excited to see what happens next. The end of the city, the end of the city we became did end on a really good cliffhanger, but I feel like the book as a whole is complete enough to where it's satisfying on its own, even though I don't know why you wouldn't want to keep reading because it's just that good. She's just phenomenal, and every book in her Broken Earth trilogy, I believe, won a Hugo Award. I have heard so many people praise her work and praise her writing, and it's definitely all true, all completely worth it. It was just such a fun, insightful, hopeful book. And I really, really hope you pick it up if you haven't. As always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.